In this video, I'm going to talk about how you can build the ultimate budget overall PC for daily tasks / Hackintosh. So the first thing you want to do is head onto eBay and search for i5 PC. What you're going to be looking for is a PC with a 3rd generation i5. This is because this CPU, even in 2018, is still reasonably powerful. You can do light video editing on it and it has cores, while most cheap laptops are still dual core these days. You can often find these for quite cheap at around about £80 because they're getting retired past old workstations. Now, it doesn't really matter what type of RAM config you get because we're going to be upgrading it from 4GB to 8GB. If you do find one for cheap that has 8GB, I'd recommend that you pick it up. Now it's also going to come with a 500GB slow hard drive, but that doesn't really matter as we're going to be upgrading this anyway. Now if you're going to be Hackintosh in this, which is quite easily possible as almost everything is compatible apart from the GPU, you're going to need, you guessed it, a new GPU. So first off is the RAM. So if your config comes with 4GB of RAM, you might want to ask the seller if there is one DIMM still free. If one DIMM still is free, I'd recommend you pick up a 4GB stick for only £13 or even less if you look more carefully. The next thing up is the hard drive. So remember, like I said, this hard drive is going to be quite slow. So for our boot drive, we're going to be using a 120GB SSD or larger if you wish, which you can find for about £25 brand new. This means that our OS installed, whether it be Windows 10 or Mac OS, will be on the super fast SSD and we'll be able to store our files on the slower hard drive. And last but not least is the graphics card. So if you're going to be using Mac OS, or even if you want to be able to game on this PC, you're going to need some form of GPU. For just casual Mac OS use, I'll recommend the GT710 for £25. Okay, so once PC arrived, I took off the back cover, and in this case, if necessary, you would add your RAM. However, mine already came with 8GB sticks, which interestingly enough came in 4 channels of 2GB each, so it's not necessary for me to add the RAM. Next up would be your boot drive SSD. So if you already had a hard drive, you wouldn't be able to do what I did, but however, as mine did not come with an existing hard drive, I was able to slot this underneath the DVD drive. Or if you don't have the slot free, what you could do is find somewhere else to put it and use double-sided tape to hold it down. If you don't have any cables free, you could just steal the SATA and power cables from the DVD drive, as you probably won't be using it to power the SSD. Now, if you're Hackintoshing this PC, you will also install your GPU and use the tutorial I have linked below on making a bootable USB drive. Or I had a change of heart here and decided just to use Windows 10, so I never purchased a new GPU. Once the USB drive for Windows 10 was prepared, I plugged in a keyboard and mouse and went through the Windows 10 setup. I configured the PC with the essential programs such as Microsoft Word, Excel and Google Chrome, and now it is ready to be deployed. In this case, it was going to double as a media center type of PC, so I used a temporary VGA cable which was then later replaced with a DisplayPort, and also utilized a wireless keyboard / trackpad combo. Now for networking, I decided not to buy a Wi-Fi card as this house is wired with Ethernet in some of the rooms, so what I began to do was start crimping some patch cables. I was able to attach the back of the switch into the wall and then the wall into the PC itself. Now through this I was able to get the full internet bandwidth without having to spend money on a Wi-Fi card, which would add latency and be prone to interference, which would slow down the connection. Once it was all done, I started using the PC and it was very snappy and responsive. The SSD and RAM upgrades meant that for almost all tasks you can do these days, it was more than adequate. So in conclusion, I'd recommend you do the same type of build if you know someone who needs a desktop or if you need one yourself. So it's way cheaper and better performing than buying a new built PC, and also you're helping the environment by recycling old parts.